been stressed, and I have lost lots of sleep over this. When I got to the middle school's table that showed graduation rate, I was in shock. 47 students did not graduate last year. 47. At first glance, it looks like 47 kids failed. But the reality is, we failed 47 kids. It is our job to prepare students to be able to support themselves and their families. We doomed 47 kids last year. Every one of us failed those kids, their parents, the teachers, administrators, superintendent, board members. Each one of us is guilty. I am concerned now about how many are on the list to possibly not graduate this year. Do we have students in the 6th or 7th grades now who are already too far behind to graduate from their classes? I understand that all students and their parents are told by counselors at the beginning of 7th grade that they need 31 points earned in 7th and 8th grades to graduate. By the end of their 7th grade year, they have to have at least 13 points to graduate, as they can only earn 18 in the 8th grade. In the 2014-15 school year, there is no way to make up points. This means that this year we have students enter the 8th grade with no possibility of graduating. This is just nuts. I can't believe it. And how long has this been our district policy? I cannot, in good conscience, support this. Can you? Does anybody know how many of these students we failed over the years have actually graduated from high school? My guess is none, and reflects badly on our school district and ruined lives of our students. Now I think I understand why the 8th grade teachers wore black at school functions and wouldn't show their faces at graduation. They must have been in mourning for students they have failed. They continually tell us at board meetings that we don't appreciate and respect them. After reading these plans, I personally agree. Every year for the last 4 years, the percentage of students who don't graduate has gotten bigger. Last year, it was 21% of the class. It is a disgrace that we allowed this to happen. We are in the year 5 of program improvement, and we're getting worse, not better. What are we doing wrong? And why is it hasn't been changed? As a teacher, if I failed this many children year after year, I wouldn't have shown my face at graduation either. I would quit. We need school plans that identify students at risk in the K-5, so when they come to 6th grade, we know where they are. All school plans should reflect this. This didn't just happen when they got to 6th grade. It is our responsibility to prepare them and get them all successfully to graduation. You can't plan for kids to fail. You have to plan for kids to succeed. Good teachers are advocates for their students, and I praise all of them for their efforts. We need to encourage more of them to speak up for their kids. Just giving a kid an F time after time after time is the teacher's failure more than the students. I know there are all kinds of reasons for student failure. We can only control those that happen at school. I want to know what the board policy is on graduation requirements. When was it last reviewed by the board? What administrative regulations go with the policy, and when were they approved? Are we following them? Do we need to change them? And I want it on an agenda for the next meeting. I want to list the interventions that are in place. I want a list of interventions that are in place for those kids. How many of them actually participated in the intervention successfully? And the plans for the future. I had difficulty finding this in the school plans. We need to know what went wrong and what we have to do to improve this. We need a table that shows what's the same and what is the difference about those 47 kids that didn't make it last year. Something like this with an intervention listed separately and whether students completed it successfully. I know most of this is in the Aries program. If we had a chart that showed us just a student ID, I don't need their names, their age, their gender, the date they entered Livingston Union School District, which K-5 in Livingston School District did they attend, their EL levels, reclassification dates, IEPs, the date of that, and which interventions, yes or no, did they have interventions? We need the same data on the students who are at risk for not graduating this year. We need to look at the data to make sense of what's happening. We need a list of interventions for the future that are in place during the school day, before or after school. Let's face it, it's the person, not the program, that makes them successful. Our best teachers should be teaching the interventions. We need to look at program improvement, suggestions for year 5 to decide which of those we need to implement. How can we ever get out if we have this much failure? As a district, I feel we need to dedicate ourselves to this problem. We are receiving LCAP money for this purpose. In the 2015-16 school plans, we need to see how this is being spent to meet the needs of these children. All of our resources are supposed to be dedicated to the success of all our students. I would like to remind you of our mission statement and first core value. Thinking about some of us take these empty words and promises has me at the boiling point. I want to believe that most of us take our mission and values to heart. Mission statement. All students will be prepared as 21st century global citizens. They will be proficient readers and writers who can solve problems and think critically, be adaptive and flexible, be able to collaborate successfully in groups effectively, utilize technology as a learning and communication tool, demonstrate a positive work ethic, and make meaningful contributions to their school and their community. Guiding core values. Our guiding core values direct our priorities, our goals, and our actions. They establish the foundation of the district culture based on high expectations and collaboration with the unrelenting determination to enter in success of our students. Our students are not to blame. We believe the circumstances of birth, socioeconomic status, language proficiencies of the disability are not barriers to learning. We say that the success of all students is our highest priority. I challenge all of us to prove that. Thank you.
Well, and I think from it's something you have to realize hits us very strongly because we're the ones responsible. This is what we've been elected to be involved with, and we just really have to remember we really need to work as a team. I applaud the fact that there was no hidden information. I applaud the fact that there were things in here that kind of concerned me in different situations, but that nothing was hidden. And I really thank you for that. But I want you to look at us as part of the team to help you, because you have an awesome task, everybody here. And I think when we come, because I know coming from a teaching background, these are the vulnerable students, and we have worked so hard to try and track who are our vulnerable students in every way, shape, and form, and how can we help the kids. So please come back to us and challenge us to find a way to help you do what you need to do. And I guess I would say that I would like maybe a motion to postpone the decision on the site, accepting the site plans, and then tabling it, and then we can look at it again.
A motion could be to not approve, take them back to the sites for revisions, and then bring it back to the board.
I motion to not approve the single plans for student achievement for LUSD, and to bring it back to the school sites for considerable revision.
I second.
Okay, any other discussion?
I would like to discuss something else. On some of these forms, I understand that we have been under a lot of stress before because of the budget and everything. But I think one field trip per class, a year is unbelievable. There is no other better way for children to learn than to be out there experiencing and everything. And the field trip coming to the class, some works very well. I know because my daughter has had something coming in. But it depends who comes, because the last time that they came over, they didn't interact. So my question is there any possibility as well that we can increase the field trips, make them fun like they used to be, go to